Today on Triad Perspectives, we'll take a look at unmanned vehicle grant that's been received by North Carolina A&T's engineering department. Also, you've heard about all of the things going on at the Guilford County Animal Shelter. What's next? Hello and welcome to Triad Perspectives. It's an informational show produced by North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, where each week we'll highlight campus and community news and somehow how they coincide. I'm your host, Sandra Hughes, and we'll start off today with talking about an unmanned vehicle grant that's been received right here at A&T by our engineering department. And then we'll go about talking about what's going on at the Guilford County Animal Shelter. Now, let me introduce you to our guest today from the engineering department. We have with us today the head of the department, who is Dr. John Kelly. Nice to have you with us too.
Good to be here.
Also today we have Dr. Abdullah Homisfar, who is one of the professors there, the distinguished Duke professor, I understand. We'll talk about that in a minute because that sounds big stuff to me.
Thank you for having us here.
Well, thank you for coming, because it sounds like you've just received a grant that's big.
It is very big. It's an important grant both to acknowledge who we are as a university, as a true preeminent contributor in the research area of autonomous vehicles, but it's also important because it helps to support our students and to build the infrastructure here.
And so we're talking about a couple of $100, $1,000?
No, we're talking about $5 million over 5 years. So both the magnitude of the money and the duration are important for us to continue to grow as a university.
Now, when you say unmanned vehicle, Dr. Kelly, I'm assuming that means obviously it's a vehicle that goes without somebody sitting behind the wheel. Is that right?
Yes.
Explain what that is.
Okay, by unmanned vehicle we mean like drone, like by vehicle we mean like air vehicle, like we mean like a drone, like helicopter, like aircraft, like a fighter. And then by unmanned vehicle, meaning that it can be a combination of both air vehicle and a ground vehicle, like a Humvee, like a truck, like a car, and then sea, like a ship, and underwater. This is what we mean by unmanned vehicle.
So how did you decide to do something like this?
This wasn't just a decide to do kind of a decision. Dr. Homafar and his team have been working in this area for several decades now, developing algorithms, developing prototypes, and working with others in this area.
Now, I'm assuming you're using a lot of students, or students are involved.
Oh, certainly. Basically, a big focus in this research is about the student. It's about master and PhD students. We basically have 22 different tasks within this center where each one of them is going to be a master or a thesis project of 1 or 2 or 3 students throughout this 5 years.
You know, we're talking about something that's happening right here on campus at A&T. Why should the community, the Triad community, even care what we're doing?
Because a lot of these concerns are in the public domain now. People are concerned about UAVs flying around. What will they do? What are the new rules about them? And people are also hearing about moves to make completely driverless vehicles. Those are autonomous vehicles.
I'll stay out of those if you don't mind. That sounds dangerous to me. So where do you stand now with putting all of the work together that you've done?
Okay, we just funded about basically April of this year. So it's about 6 months that we put the team together. We're still putting all the student and infrastructure together. And then the team, basically, we have a team from A&T, from 3 departments within the College of Engineering, electrical, mechanical, and industrial and system engineering. That's the College of Engineering. And then we have also from the College of Arts and Science in psychology. This is within A&T. Then outside of A&T, we have a partner. We have two partners. One is coming from University of Texas at San Antonio, their Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. And then we have a two-year Native American, college, technical college, at Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Well, I'll tell you, it sounds like you've got a lot going on. I'd like to come visit. I don't want to ride in any unmanned vehicles.
We won't make you do that.
But I will come and see. I was interested in hearing Dr. Homafar's explanation of the Distinguished Duke Professor. What in the world does that mean?
Okay, what it means that I am an endowed professor, which was established by Duke Energy at North Carolina A&T State University, and in 2010 there was a national search to basically recruit this person, which I happened to be selected.
Okay.
So and the job of the Duke Energy professor is basically to do a lot of research, advise a lot of students, bring a lot of funding, and write a lot of publication.
Well, that $5 million is nice funding.
In fact, this is just a portion of the funding that I have brought to A&T.
Okay.
Since I joined A&T since 1989, January of 1989. Since that time, I have managed over $15 million of research and development funding from different government and industry, along with other colleagues.
So you're looking to keep him around for a while, right?
We want him to be happy. Yes, we do.
I bet you do. Now, what's the next step for this unmanned vehicle research?
So there are well-defined activities under the proposal that must be carried out. Dr. Homafar talked about the 22 tasks. But these are often lightning rods. They attract other funders and other activities. And so we're going to take advantage of that heightened visibility that we now have in the community, and we're going to bring in those aspects.
Do you think it's going to attract students?
Absolutely. In fact, we are very intentional in our focus on robotics and autonomous systems. The university leads the North Carolina FIRST activities for FLL and FTC. Those are the robotics competitions for the high school and middle school kids.
Now, with the kids, everyone has a device in their
Yes.
hands. You know, everybody's doing this all the time. Is that going to increase the students that are interested in your programs?
Okay, you're asking a really interesting question, is how can we recruit more and more students into science and STEM related? I think this is the area, because robotic is something that that people can see it, can touch it, can apply different know-how and simple things to see the changes right away. And in fact, you're asking a right question. We are looking for many master and PhD, specifically PhD student for this program. So anybody is interested, please check our web and send me an email or John, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate the right people. We have funding for the student.
I might start over again. Get a degree in engineering.
There you go.
I don't think it's going to
We'd
be
be glad to have
possible.
you.
It's going to be possible. A&T has always been known for its engineering department, and we're very, very pleased that you're doing what you're doing. Can you give us any kind of clue of what's next from your department?
Yes, so traditionally universities do research that's funded with a vehicle called a grant. Here's the money, go do nice things. The larger research universities are funded under contracts. You must do this to get this funding. That's where we're going next. We're going after larger contract-based dollars so that we can support even larger activities and even more students.
Now, how do you work with Triad area public schools?
So
with your
again,
program?
we are the entire North Carolina state sponsor for these activities that allow students to explore the fun side of science and engineering. And so those competitions are a really exciting way to get students interested in and engaged in ways that allow them to pursue degrees in engineering and computer science.
And so how do you help brand new students that come in to get used to
let
it?
me just follow up what John mentioned regarding our outreach activity. As part of our center, we, like this past summer, we sponsored the activity related to coaches for the first robotic, for example. And we're going to continue supporting these coaches, specifically at those underrepresented schools that their funding is not enough. So we will have, throughout the year, 2 students helping these coaches to continue having these kind of activities.
Well, it's incredible. When my grandchildren come home with math homework and science homework, I send them to their daddy. Maybe I should send them to you.
The issue becomes how can we get the interest of a student?
Yes.
Okay, the issue is that the problem is not them, it is us. We have really enough technology to get their interest. The question is let them touch them. Let them even, make some mistakes. So what? The learning comes from the mistakes. Basically in an environment that you can control even the mistakes.
Well, I know that you probably are not willing at this point, Dr. Kelly, to tell us any secrets about what's coming up. Not just this unmanned vehicle grant, but something else you might want to. You want to share any more with us today?
Absolutely. So in addition to some really exciting work in robotics, we're entering that time of year where we get these storms coming off the west coast of Africa, and we have to determine which ones of those turn into real problems. That's also part of what Dr. Homerfar does in his research lab.
I hope you give him a raise.
Well,
it sounds like he's doing everything.
He is very active, and that's why he is the endowed chair, because we searched nationally and found that he was the most capable candidate. So he is valuable. We have several very valuable faculty members, and we're very fortunate to have them.
Well, that's great. It was so nice to meet you today
Pleasure.
and hear you talk about some of the things that you're doing over in the engineering department. I can't reach all the way, but I'll
thank you.
thank you very
Thank you
much.
for inviting me.
Dr. Kelly, it was great
you.
meeting you, and I
My
hope
pleasure.
hope everything goes just the way you want it to.
I'm certain it will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have to take a quick break right now, but when we come back, we will check out what's happening at the the Guilford County Animal Shelter. Wait till you hear what's going on.
This is an A&T Historical Minute, and I am William Robson. The Corbett Sports Center opened December 3rd, 1978. It is named after Ellis F. Corbett, a 1931 graduate of A&T. Officially known as Mr. A&T, his official title was Sports Information Director. He performed many other roles on campus, including dorm counselor, and he was a member of the board in control of intercollegiate athletics. The 3-story complex includes office space, classrooms, and 2 racquetball courts, in addition to an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Corbett also houses many of the human performance and leisure study courses at A&T. The Corbett Sports Center is the current home of the North Carolina A&T men and women's basketball teams and the swimming team. This has been a Historical Minute, and I am William Robson.
Welcome back to Triad Perspectives. I'm your host, Sandra Hughes. Lately you may have heard about our Guilford County Animal Shelter and some problems there, but today we have Logan Rustin with the Department of Health and Human Services, and he's also the Guilford County Animal Control Manager on an interim basis. It's nice to have you with us. Thank you.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
We were all really sad when we heard about problems at the animal shelter. When did it all start?
I think it started quite a while back, a few months back, and it just finally took the right people to get involved to do the right kind of investigation to see how these allegations were being brought about and why they were being brought about.
So were you the person that got these allegations, or who do they take allegations to?
They took them to social media a lot, and then the County Board of Commissioners is and the Sheriff's Department and stuff. They got all of those involved and just started making complaints and writing letters to get someone to take a look at it.
So were you unhappy with what you saw?
I was shocked by the allegations and the Department of Agriculture's report. I was overwhelmed by something that I can't believe would happen. So
now what is your job now?
My-
Because many of the people who were there are gone, right?
yes, the management staff, and there are a few staff members that are not part of the investigation that are still on board, helping us out. Right now I'm the interim animal welfare manager, along with a couple other people that are trying to get everything back in order.
So are we doing it?
We are. We're doing it. We're doing pretty good. We're doing real good, and it's going in uphill, and I think everything's going to be better from this point on.
Give me a list of things that you have to fix.
Well, we have to fix, top priority is we had to put the animals back to being first priority. I think that was just what got out of hand and didn't happen there, and so we've put the animals first. We've brought in rescue groups that were told they weren't allowed to come in prior.
What kind of rescue group?
Certain rescue groups, just different kinds. You have your purebred rescue groups or your certain kind of animal rescue groups.
Oh, I see.
And so there's a lot within the state of North Carolina. There's a lot of rescue groups within the Guilford County alone. And so we called them all in and asked for their help too. A rescue group is sometimes better because they have means of the animals not having to sit in cages as long as they do at the shelter.
I see.
So they work with foster homes and stuff to get the animals out and adopted even quicker. So since we've taken over the shelter from the UAC, we've placed over 300 animals in rescues.
That's a lot, isn't it?
It is. That's a lot.
Before that, how many animals were you placing for adoptions, let's say monthly?
Well, that are their records. We're not sure what their records were. I do know that the rescue groups were not allowed to come in for whatever reason. I'm not sure. But I do know that when we stepped in this month, there were 808 animals currently on that property. And I do believe we're at 475 now.
Wow. I mean, that should make a huge difference.
That's a huge difference,
on
yes.
your task and your
Yes.
staff.
Yes.
So one of the things that always grabs my heart is when they say, well, we have to euthanize them.
Yes.
That's still going to be the case.
That has to happen no matter what, because you'll have animals that their health and their age surpass the ability to help them. And so we have euthanized, but the animals that have been euthanized have actually been seen by a vet this time, and it is at the vet's recommendation when that happens, due to health reasons or age or whatever's best for that animal.
So do you have a vet on staff there?
We have a vet. She's not there every single day, all day long. She comes every single day in the afternoon because she actually has her own veterinary practice also. So she is there and she does monitor the animals. We have every day she shows up, we have the animals that we would like looked at and checked so that we can get proper medicine to them and get the ones taken care of that are not an immediate problem.
So people who live in North Carolina, Guilford County, whatever, how much are we individuals paying to make this shelter possible?
Well, the group that has been removed was a nonprofit group. So as of right now, it's kind of in limbo. I don't have any kind of statistics where that is concerned, because, it's run off of donations too. So there's a lot involved in running a shelter and a lot of statistics from different areas.
So obviously you have to love animals. You're not going there to get rich.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you have to have some kind of love for them.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing I wanted to ask, Davidson County keeps being mentioned with Guilford County.
Yes.
Well, why is that?
Because the group, the UAC, had just recently taken over the Davidson County in January, because Davidson County was in a bad situation before that, and the county commissioners in Davidson County, the county board and stuff, decided to go with the nonprofit group to try and change how Davidson County was run as well.
What does UAC mean?
It's United Animal Coalition. That's the name of the nonprofit group.
I see. Now let me ask you about volunteers.
Yes.
Because I hear so much about how people love to come and help you
They
with
do.
the animals.
They do.
Tell me how you get volunteers.
We get volunteers from every age you could think of. What we do is we have a volunteer orientation. We've started it twice a month now on Saturdays. They'll come for about an hour and a half. They'll go through an orientation, just telling them what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do, how to handle certain animals as far as the signs that are on the animals' cages, where we need their help the most, and they just come in full force. I think the last 2 classes we've had since we took over had like 50 people in each class.
Grief.
Yes.
I mean, now really, can you use 50 volunteers?
Oh yes, always. Mostly they just come to walk the dogs and play with the cats. They do. They love to play with the animals and give them, some free time outside in the sun and stuff.
What would be your ideal number of volunteers, let's say on a daily basis?
Oh, I bet on a daily basis probably 20 come through there to help.
And that's what you need?
That's good. Yes, it's good because we have volunteers that come every single day. They walk all the dogs. Every dog gets outside. They've made some requests to us. We've installed a bathing station because they asked if they could give the dogs baths and stuff, and they think that was one of the greatest things we did was just put a hose and shampoo out there for the dogs.
Good.
So
That's good.
And they enjoy it though. They really do.
But don't you also have foster homes?
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
We have people come in who inquire that would like to be fosters. They tell us what kind of animals they would like to foster. Today we just had to actually call someone on the list. We had 2 kittens that came in last night that required to be bottle fed. That's how young they were. And a young lady had already showed up this morning and has already taken them home with her to take care of them.
Got the bottles ready
yep,
to go.
Yeah, got the bottles ready and
Yeah.
and 2 little babies to take care of. So
goodness.
we have a list. People, they fill out an application and we do some checking and stuff, and then we just work with them on what we need, cared for at the time. A pregnant mom, they'll take a pregnant mom home and have the babies and care for them until they're weaned, and then they come back and they get put up for adoption.
So now, are you looking for a director, a full-time?
As of right now, it's still up in the air. I believe a plan is going to be presented to the county commissioners, hopefully by October 1st, as to how they want to go about whether or not they want to go with another nonprofit group, or if they're going to have the county just take it back under their wing.
So how many other positions would be available?
I think that'll still be to be determined once they decide what kind of structure it's going to be.
As you think back on what you've seen, what you see now, what's your vision for the future for the Guilford County? I won't ask about Davidson County right now, but about Guilford County's animal shelter.
Hopefully in the near future will be a new shelter, a new building, facility itself, because this one's pretty old and run down, and I know that they've been talking about that for a while, and I think minimizing how many animals are always on scene. And that's what we've been doing since we've been in there, is we've reduced the numbers drastically, and that's the most important thing.
One of the things that I personally always wanted to know is what kind of dogs are mainly there at the animal shelter?
Believe it or not, all kinds. All kinds. Yeah, we just had a mother come back, a hound dog with some puppies, and we have a lot of huskies, and we just... I think in the shelter, though, the most kind you'll find is just a mixed breed dog, because that's what comes in. If it's not a purebred, it's just a mix of anything and everything.
But they're pretty healthy.
Yep, and they tend to be probably the cute ones and the best pets you'll probably ever own.
Okay, I'm going to write a list here of what I'm looking for.
Okay, that's not a problem. I'm sure we can find one for you.
You can find something for me, and then I'll have to see if my boss will let me bring it.
There you go.
With me.
There you go.
That's where we run into problems. Anything else you want our viewers to know about what you're doing and what?
I just want them to be patient.
Yeah.
Our top priority is the animals right now, and our second priority is just earning the community's trust back. Just be patient, and we got the numbers. We can show the improvement. We can show the improved care, and it's going in a good direction right now. Just be patient, but it'll get where it needs to be.
But it's going to take a while, though,
It will.
isn't it?
Yes, it will.
Are we talking about months, years?
Oh, probably, I would say a year.
Especially if you want to build a building.
Right. That'll take a few years, most likely.
Yeah. So have you started on that kind of plan yet? Do you have
I think they're actually working on it. It's been in the talks, yes. Because I think now that they see how many animals actually come through there on a daily basis and how many are actually on scene waiting to be adopted. We have, in the last 24 days that we've been on scene, we have adopted 146 animals.
Wow.
So, and we've placed, like I said, just around 300 in rescues. So,
Just give me a couple of reasons people bring animals to you.
a lot of people will bring an animal if they are moving and their new landlord doesn't allow pets. A lot of people will realize that they just don't have the time to care for that animal or spend time with that animal, and they'd rather the animal have a better chance at being socialized, so they'll surrender. A lot of people can't afford, unfortunately, when my department goes out, they can't afford fines, and they choose to give up their animal to find a different home rather than them being in violation of the law and stuff like that. So it's just a different number of things.
And animals are expensive. People need to know
They are.
that.
They are. They're very expensive because you still need to provide them with proper vet care on a yearly basis, just like a child. It's, your dog needs certain vaccines and they need them at certain times in their lives. And it's just an upkeep, just like having something else to care for.
And I think a lot of people don't think about that.
Right.
They think, oh, what a cute little puppy. I'd
Right.
like to have this at home. And then when they go to the vet,
Yep.
and they get that bill,
The vet and the food and what the animal needs it is very costly.
then it becomes your dog.
No, I have plenty.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything works out the way you want it to.
I think it will.
Your vision will come true. Is there anything our viewers can do to help what you want to see happen in the future?
Offer to volunteer, stay positive. Everything has changed hands now, and we're still, accepting any kind of donations, dog food, cat food, kitty litter, whatever you can do. We're still there. We're still functioning. The animals still have to be taken care of. So
Do they just come there?
yes, they can just drop off any kind of donation there at the front door.
And what are your hours?
They're open every day, Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6, and on Sundays, 1 to 5.
Okay, so bring the money, the food, and anything else you might
And your
need.
time if you have
and
it.
your time if
Yes.
you have it. It sounds great. Well, I certainly have appreciated talking to
Well,
you
thank you
today.
very much.
And as much as my family is in love with animals, we certainly hope things will work out just the way you want them. And if for any reason something comes up and you need our viewers to know about it again, just let us know.
Definitely.
And we'll be definitely happy to come back and have you
Appreciate
come back
that.
again. Or we'll come see you.
Okay, that's even better.
Come see you and then walk some dogs and take a camera
There you go.
to do it. That would be the best way to do it. I've been talking today to Logan Rustin, who is now, I'm afraid of your title. You're with the Department of Health and Human Services, but
Yes.
you're now the Guilford County Animal Control Manager.
That is my title. That is my job that I do. I'm the interim animal welfare manager for the shelter right now.
And somebody saw a badge on your hip. What does
Yes.
that mean?
That means that I can write tickets
Oh,
to people in violation.
Ouch. For example?
If your dog is running loose without a leash,
Okay.
I can write you a ticket for that.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything under the animal control
What about
ordinance.
cruelty? I mean,
Yes.
that's one thing that bothers me.
Yes.
To see people hitting dogs.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
the minimum fine for cruelty violation is $500, and that's just a citation.
Oh, my goodness.
And then there's, we can go a little bit further than that if need be.
Okay. And I hope your new building will be air conditioned.
I hope so. I hope so. That would be nice for the animals. Yes.
Didn't I hear that we can't tie dogs outside anymore?
Yes, that's our new tethering ordinance. It just went into full enforcement effect on September 1st, and it's actually unattended tethering. Your dog can be on a tether if you're outside with it. Other than that, it can no longer be on any kind of tethering
Tied to
system.
a tree or something. Okay. Well, it's been delightful talking to you and talking to you about something that wasn't good, but now it's going to be better.
It's better.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Great to have
Pleasure.
you here. Thank you for watching Triad Perspectives. Now, we want you to tune in every Monday at 5:30 on Time Warner Cable, Channel 69. And make sure to follow us on all of our social media sites. And join us next time as we will have a department chair from the Department of History, and we'll just see what's going on at the Piedmont Triad International Airport. See you next time and have a great evening.